Hey, good morning, guys. Just wanted to do a quick video on two things. Wanted to talk about why I got my broker license, because everybody's asking that question right now. What am I going to do with it and so on. And the other thing is, what's the state of the market, the housing market. So I want to start number one with the state of the housing market, at least in my opinion here in North Texas. I think that we are in a buyer's market. In my opinion, there's no doubt about that. There are hot spots, and everyone will say it's hyper-local, and I 100% agree. There are areas, communities, school district, etc., that are going to be more in demand. They might go over asking. I believe that a lot of the ones that I've seen go over asking on the offers are because they were priced appropriately, which is also part of the conversation I wanted to have today. If you are a home seller, you have to be realistic about where we are. Nationally, when you look at numbers, we may be in a seller's market. We may have low inventory, so to speak. But I will tell you, in our area, we do not. We are fully in a buyer's market. And the level of that may vary, like I said, on different areas. But in general terms, buyers have control right now. It's why you see a buyer go through 10 or 12 properties and not make an offer. So if you're a home seller, my biggest advice to you is price appropriately. Have a realtor, have a conversation, talk about what the market really looks like. I try and show stats. So every single week I take metrics from 2 or 3 different programs that I use, as well as, and I'll shoot very straight with you, I look at Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, Trulia, all the main sites on what they're evaluating the price point. I don't think that's how you make the decision on your price of your house. But I do think you have to look at it as a real estate professional, because the rest of the world does. Everybody else looks at those sites. So if you ignore them, you're not paying attention to the market, or at least what the market is hearing. So that's really important to do. So I take all that information, I throw it into my system that I've created, my software system with AI, and I have it help me evaluate that number that I'm presenting to my seller. And a lot of times I just take that information and I just put it there and go, here, this is what I'm seeing. What are you seeing? Because you're living in the subdivision, you're seeing the other homes go down or sell or relist or delist. What are you seeing? And let's come up with the best number for your house and a strategy that works to sell it. But you have to be realistic with your numbers. I promise you, if you overprice right now, buyers look at it and they go, yeah, that doesn't work for me, or it's too overpriced for what I get, either the location or the condition, and then they move on, and they do not come back to your house. And that's why we saw last year a lot of people delist their property because they couldn't sell it last summer. And I believe one of the biggest reasons we have such a huge inventory surge this year is because those people who delisted last year are relisting with all the people who are listing for the first time this year. So it piled on top of each other. And obviously interest rates, insecurity with the war overseas, just everything that goes, and their job concerns, everybody has that. A lot of people have that. So that affects the number of buyers that we have. So that combination, that storm has put us into what I believe is a buyer's market. So sellers price accordingly, buyers be aggressive. And I would say one of the biggest challenges I've had so far is it seems like buyers don't want to just put in an offer. And I think that they are either worried about offending the agent or something like that, or on the other side, offending the seller. But let us as agents take the brunt of what someone might be offended by. We'll do our best to present it in a way that they can receive it, but at the same time, just put in an offer. And so we can then start to negotiate the conversation. I've seen some where we put in a very, very low offer, and they were actually willing to negotiate very far down. I also saw where we put in a really low offer and we ended up closer to their asking price. Just put the offer in. Let us as real estate agents have that negotiation conversation with the other agent on the other side. So that's kind of the state of the market, in my opinion. One additional thing on that is I do think that new construction, specifically inventory homes, and I've been saying this for almost 2 years, is one of the best places where you can get opportunities to buy a new home. A few of the advantages. One is if you know you're going to be living in your house 5 to 7 years, and the incentives, part of the incentives are like $30,000 worth of closing costs or covering fees, and you're there for 5 years, that is $6,000 a year. Those are real numbers. And I think a lot of people don't see that because it doesn't come out of their pocket, so to speak, but it was money that you were going to spend. And so you should see that as a savings. You should see that as money you have not spent. It is real money. Now, the truth is on new construction is they do typically take longer for you to break even. So if you said, I need to sell in the next 2 years, I don't know if I would buy new construction because it takes a little more time to appreciate that value back because you're paying a little bit of a premium on the price of the house to have builder's warranties, to have all new appliances, everything's brand new in the house, bathroom's never been used, yard is brand new, all those things, right? You're paying for that. You're paying up for it a little bit, but your savings are on the incentive side and hopefully at the same time because builders are a little bit heavy on their inventory, we're more aggressive with our pricing and our offers. So that's that side of it. So the question about my broker license, and this is probably one of the bigger questions I've gotten in the last couple of weeks is why? And then what am I going to do with it? So to answer both of those, why was mostly a personal decision to advance myself, to become better at what I do. I was licensed in 2008. My wife actually started doing wholesale flipping in essence of housing. Back in the day, wholesaling was basically you got it under contract, find a buyer for it and you flip and you keep the difference. It's become flipping now where people actually do the rehab on it. We would actually wholesale over to a rehabber who would come in and rehab it and they would make a lot more profit on it down the road. But for us, that was what we were doing was wholesaling. So that's the number one why is I wanted to advance myself and just become better at my field. And I think that the second part is we all have the ability to just advance ourselves to become better at what we do. And a lot of employers will offer incentives or pay for someone to go get their master's, for example, or something like that. For me, I'm actually doing it myself. So I'm actually paying myself to go do it and just wanted to become better at my field. And eventually one day, if I decide to start my own brokerage, then I can do that. So it's all a matter of choices. Right now I'm staying at Monument, love it. It's where I need to be. I love having an office here. I like the people. And so this works out really well for me, but it also gives me the opportunity down the road to do something else. So for now, I'm a broker associate at Monument, continue to be a realtor and help people buy and sell homes. And if I can help you, let me know. We'll talk to you guys soon.